It's time for the type of energy only Darren McCarty and Neil Rule can give. It's time for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy.
Big D.
Right
Trade
here.
deadline day, and we got Za'Darius.
There it is, everybody. That is right.
Yeah.
My name is Neil Rule. That guy, D-Mac, Darren McCarty. We got Spencer Raxter in the building.
Hello.
Spenmo, do you feel fulfilled now?
No.
No, we're not done,
We're not
Spenny.
done yet.
Not done yet. Did it early in the morning.
Yeah.
Why? So we could do it later on in the afternoon.
There you go.
Woo.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs that afternoon delight.
Afternoon delight, baby. Oh, Brad Holmes cooking.
Absolutely. Speaking of cooking, in the sound booth, Stick is here, the wily veteran. He's got his Ice Cube shirt on.
Today's a good day, boys. Today
Nah,
is
I
a
like
good
it.
day.
Today is
Absolutely, it is a good day. Election day. Go vote.
Oh, there's an election going on too, and trade deadline.
And trade deadline day.
Wild.
Go vote, everybody.
It is absolutely wild
I
today.
voted this morning, but I didn't get my little sticker, so did I really vote?
No.
Yeah.
Not for the gram, anyway.
That's true.
I just steal people's other pictures and post it like I voted.
Nice.
That's a pretty wily veteran move right there. No, I voted on Saturday, actually, so got that handled. We are good to go. We are locked and loaded. But yeah, just go vote. I don't care who you vote for, man. Just go vote. Like, be a part of the system. Yes, trade deadline day. Oh, real quick, too, I want to shout out Greg Campy, Oakland University coach. Got his 700th win last night.
What have you done
Campy.
700 times?
I'll let you answer that on your own time, everybody.
Something to myself.
Yes. Well, of course.
No
Spenny.
Diddy.
No Diddy.
Well,
Well, a little bit.
depends on your definition.
Yeah. No Diddy. No. More of a dry guy. Don't use the baby oil.
There you go. Okay, moving on. Yes, trade deadline day. It is done. It is in the books. Za'Darius Smith is now a Detroit Lion. So, D-Mac,
Yes.
what we all knew was going to happen, happened. The good folks at Spot Track gave you the breakdowns on it. And look, it passes all the tests for me. Here's the deal. I'll speak to you in real regular people terms. The Lions get Za'Darius Smith. They basically traded a 5th-round pick in the next year's draft. It's a pick swap for a 6th and a 7th, but essentially what's that going to be? 8-pick difference. Doesn't really matter. The moral of the story is they have Za'Darius Smith. They gave up a 5th-round pick, non-guaranteed salary of $11 million next year for Za'Darius Smith as well.
Which means they're not on the hook.
They are not tied into anything financially with them. If it doesn't work, you can let them go. You can extend. You can re-sign them. Everything is out there for you. This reeks of a Brad Holmes move. This is where we are now. And from what I heard, the streets are saying the Browns were holding out for a 4th-round pick, and that's what the delay was. So Brad Holmes doesn't give you what you want how you want it. Brad Holmes gets what he wants how he wants it. That's the moral of the story.
So before we get to the on the field with the Za'Darius Smith, so the off the field moves, Neil, as far as the books and everything that goes, is what grade do you give Brad Holmes? Is this an A? Is this like how you do business when you're a Super Bowl loading team?
That's it.
That's exactly it. To everybody out there who, and we heard you, and lucky I don't have a pen or I would have been taking names, is the fact saying, well, he just does it in the draft. He doesn't do it in the trade. He can't get it done here. No, he's cooking on all cylinders for everybody right now, Detroit Lions. And I, like Spenny said, I don't want him to be done. I don't think he'll be done. And we were talking about this before the show, and it's probably not going to be, like it's not something that's going to shake the foundation, but it's going to be somebody along the lines of a Jalen Reeves-Maybin or somebody that can make a play in a certain spot that you're going to say, oh, thank God we have this guy. So the biggest things for me, one, fits the room, fits the culture, obviously passes that test to whatever want to be here. The other two things is not only the veteran guy who, if you look at the way he's playing this year, is coming into his game, for whatever else you miss pressures with Aiden Hutchinson, he adds this. But I like this also, right? The fact that he's played for teams in this North Division in Green Bay and in Minnesota, so he understands what's at stake here and stuff like that. And not very many times, Neil, do you get to say there was a trade from Cleveland to Detroit in the past that somebody would be excited, except for now. So he's got to be ecstatic. And I think that, one thing I'm going to listen to say, you've heard Braylon's story about when he got traded to the Jets. He didn't take anything. He left. He wanted to get out there as quick as possible. I don't know if it's the same way, but definitely if whoever won, Za'Darius Smith, he absolutely won the lottery today by becoming a Detroit Lion, and he's gonna be an effective player on this defense for Aaron Glenn.
No, that's it. That's all. That you said it perfectly, D-Mac. 21 sacks in his last 40 games, spanning back to 2022. So that's out there. A couple of forced fumbles in that time. Also, Duke can play. He's a pro.
Isn't he also too a guy who's on that the offense has to know where he is and what number
you got to be aware of him.
Right, you have to be aware. So I just think that he adds to it, and hopefully, from what we've seen with this defense. And I also I mentioned something, and I did a little clip, but I mentioned, what? I'll tell you what it's like when you're an injured player. And I know Hutch is out for the season. You can't fast track bones, but when you are doing your rehab and trying to get back, you're going to work a little bit harder especially when you see all the pieces that are in place. And maybe this helps with the mental side of Hutchinson's recovery, because there's going to be some dark days when there's a lot of time, but he can also see that this team is just going to be waiting for him and ready, and not hopefully lose any ground until he comes back.
Absolutely. Jump into that Woodward Sports chat, by the way. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get in there. As KG would say, who's sick, out sick, by the way. KG would say, get your shit off. Get in there. Get your thoughts out there as well. Vorse in the chat. Good morning, crew. Good morning. Good to have you all here with us. Nobody. Pistons won. Oakland won. The people of Detroit won this morning. Neil, it's all coming together. That is correct. It is. Nice win for the Pistons yesterday, too.
Great win for the Pistons.
And locked it down in the fourth quarter. Cade and Jaden Ivey put it to bed.
Yeah, shout out to JB Bickerstaff. He managed them perfectly, giving them both rests in the fourth quarter. So down the stretch, they're both ready to go. Cade Cunningham, you could tell that he wasn't as tired as he has been in some of these fourth quarters, because he was drawing in the defense and he was making passes on time and on point to get Jaden Ivey some open shots. Jaden Ivey stepping up, knocking down some big buckets, and then Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham with the finishing touches at the end. It was a beautiful, beautiful game. That backcourt looking great. Cade Cunningham triple-double, playing some great defense on LeBron down the stretch, and Jaden Ivey was playing well as well.
He is noticeably better defensively.
Yes.
Cade Cunningham, noticeably. But I wanted to get that out there, because I know there's going to be Za'Darius Smith and the Lions pretty much all day.
Today, yes.
Yeah. So but I wanted that out there.
Proud of Jaden Ivey too. That's my guy.
Absolutely.
I tweeted out this morning. In the long run, I don't know what I'm going to be prouder of, standing by Jared Goff or standing by Jaden Ivey.
You know the answer to that one. You know.
1,000% Jared Goff.
You know.
We'll see.
But that's what you want out of this team, right? Where they laid an egg against New York last week at home, and are you going to learn from that and to play against? You nailed it. I mean, that was a test for them, and they're looking at that. They'd mark it on the calendar. You're playing LeBron James, Cade Cunningham. It's a way to show everybody that there's progress there. So the progress that we wanted, hopefully we're seeing.
Jalen Duren, 2 great games in a row as well.
No one wants to talk about that ever.
Yes.
They don't for some reason. No, but anyway, though, they've won 3 of 4, by the way, and the easy part of the schedule. See, guys, there's swings in a long season. Like, that's the way that this works. So, real quietly, they've won 3 out of 4. They're 3-5 now, with they could very well be above 500 in a week. Could very well be. Things change quickly.
Yeah, they got 3 very winnable games coming up against Charlotte, Atlanta, and then Houston.
Yep, and then Miami's coming in. So,
they already have 2 more wins in November than they did all of last year.
There's that as well.
I mean, that's a fun stat. It's a horrible stat, but it's a fun stat.
But it's a fun stat. All right, back to the Za'Darius Smith thing. DNC, ENT. No diss to Za'Darius Smith, but I need another one. I need Za'Darius and I knew, okay, somebody explain this to me, all right? When I logged on to the Woodward Sports YouTube page, you know how you get that little AI-driven chat summary? It said on the AI chat summary just now, it said, Lions fans seem happy about the Detroit Lions trade. However, some are concerned about their recent performance.
Hey, I don't know what it's talking about.
Okay. That's why AI's not there yet. All right, everybody.
AI.
That's why it's not there yet. I thought that was pretty interesting. No, but all right. So Spenny, since you seem to be of this political party here on Election Day, you are the DNC ENT crowd.
Yes.
You need and.
I don't need and. I would very much like and. I would very much support and. I'd very much see and coming, and I think part of that and is you look at it right here, that Spotrac tweet. Look at that salary guaranteed for Za'Darius Smith this year. Under $1 million.
I know. I know.
$605,000 guaranteed for Za'Darius Smith this year. A lot of cap still available. A lot of picks in next year's draft still at Brad Holmes' disposal. I would be very surprised if he didn't make another trade at some point today.
Yes, and also too, you know why that is? This is why you wait.
Yes.
And this is something I talked about, D-Mac.
And that's what winning
does
afforded them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That he could wait a little bit longer
You
and
just
hold
wait
on
and
to
let
his
somebody
price.
else pay him.
Yeah.
Like it is. It's all very, very simple, man.
It's just trying to read the tea leaves a little bit and listening to Dan Campbell. I'm sure they got a few guys that they might poach off other practice squads, but they're waiting till the last moment. I'm sure he's got other offers out there to other teams that he's just like, hey, hit me back before the deadline. You want to make the deal? Here's my final offer. And they're, planning sort of ahead, so maybe we will hear something of breaking news. I don't think it'll be anything huge, but I think it'll be huge for this team.
Right. So as it stands right now, the Detroit Lions for next year's draft, they have their own first-round pick. They have their own second-round pick. The third-round pick was traded to the Jets for Giovanni Manu, so they don't have a third-rounder. They have their own fourth-rounder. They do not have anymore that fifth-rounder from the Eagles as part of the DeAndre Swift trade. They traded that back to the Eagles for Vaki. They do not have their fifth-round pick. They do not have their sixth-round pick. They traded that to the Browns for Donovan Peoples-Jones. They do have a sixth-round pick from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as part of the Carlton Davis trade. They have their own seventh-round pick, and they have the Dallas Cowboys seventh-round pick as part of the trade up for Terry and Arnold. So simplified, they have the first, a second, a fourth, a seventh, and another seventh. That's what they have. But there's a cost to do business. What's that?
And a six.
The six, yeah, from the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Correct. So that is where they stand right now. So no grave damage, but it costs you something to get something, man. You don't get stuff for free.
The only thing that, and not a conversation for now because obviously it's performance-based, but isn't that, Neil, isn't it bigger than not the fact that next year's not guaranteed, and even if it is, the number's $16 million, but it says that if they wanted to pay, they don't have to pay $11. So that means he's getting these guys at a discount, right? Making the team pay. So am I reading this right, that it was the rest of the salary except for that for this year for the fifth and sixth? So he even buffered it even better.
Right.
Right? Because we always talk about there's two different, the real money and then the salary cap or however you break it down. So to me, it just tells me that Brad Holmes, if anything, probably made out in this, this was a positive deal.
No doubt. And you get a pro. Like a very, very good player in this league.
Like
you
a
get what they
guy
needed.
that's established, a guy that everybody else knows that and that has played. And I love the fact that he's played in the North. Like he's been Minnesota in Packers. There's something about him, coming back playing your own teams too.
No, that is it. So let's do this, and we'll take our first break. We're off and rolling. Get your thoughts in there on Za'Darius Smith. What's a landscape look like? What's another move? I'm going to put Spenny on the spot about it. I want Spenny to call his shot. We'll do that when we come back. Tell him about the Salvation Army, D-Mac.
You betcha. Have you ever thought about volunteering but don't know where to start? Start with the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. Visit registertoring.com to sign up for shifts. You'll have the option to choose a 2-hour session at a physical Red Kettle site or participate in a virtual bell ringing shift to raise fundraisers from the comfort of your own home. If you want to do the virtual bell ringers, sign up right now and you can start at any time. Traditional bell ringing, Friday, November 7th it starts. Runs through Christmas Eve, includes Thanksgiving and Sunday. So to sign up for volunteer shifts, visit registertoring.com. caesarsportsbook.com.
All right, and now if you're ultra convinced the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl, get to Caesar Sportsbook now. As a matter of fact,
Now.
all you have to do is scan the QR code on the screen. Use promo code Woodward 1000. Make your first deposit. Make your first bet. If your first bet loses, Caesar Sportsbook will give it back to you as a free bonus bet. Yes, it's like a do-over, as a matter of fact. All the way up to $1,000, everybody. You see your friends doing it. Everybody around you's doing it. Jump on in there. Hey, here's a little secret. Football Sundays are a little more fun when you got some action in the game. Let's just say it like that, everybody. Caesar Sportsbook, the app is clean. It's not glitching out on you. Everything's easy to navigate. The live lines are posted constantly if you're an in-game bettor. We got you right during a Lions watch party before. We trapped it on both sides. You can do that at Caesar's Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule here for Dr. Jeff Pierce, our injury insider. That is right, every Tuesday here on Big D Energy. That's today, by the way. Out of the Michigan Sports and Spine Center, we talk sports breaking injury news, but we also talk about your everyday life as well. A lot of you weekend warriors out there, maybe you're having some problems, got some pain, some soreness, all of it. Dr. Pierce can get you squared away. He's helped myself out. He's helped Spencer Raxter out. Oh, by the way, Darren McCarty trusted him with his hockey career, as a matter of fact. So that tells you, that's a fact. Tells you all you need to know. Dr. Pierce brought to us, courtesy of MRI of Southfield. All right, keeping it pushing. Happy trade deadline day. Happy election day. Go vote, as a matter of fact. Go vote. Jesus, man. There are people alive today that couldn't vote when they were born. Think about that.
Go vote.
Go vote. So go ahead and do it. Woodward Sports chat thread, jump into there. Freddie Felt. Neil, the Za'Darius Smith trade is great and all, but can we talk about that impressive 50-point win to kick off the Dusty May era in Ann Arbor? I told you guys, like, Dusty May's real.
He's a good coach.
I told you guys this.
Unlike Juwan Howard, he's a good coach.
Yeah. But no, you guys would prefer Juwan Howard as your coach.
Yep.
Remember that? Remember that bit?
I do.
Dusty May's legit. Plays a fun style of basketball, too.
Yeah.
NBA style.
It's going to be fun to watch.
They're going to score points, bro.
Yep.
Points and possessions. They want to go. No, they're a factor, man. I'm not saying they're going to win the national title or anything like that, but they're going to be a factor in the Big Ten. Make no mistake about that. Danielle, I wonder how many votes Brad Holmes will get today in the U.S. election. Probably more than he would have yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt. And Holmes we trust, for sure.
Mike G. Dusty May running a deep bench too, man. Wowzers.
Well,
he's
in an exhibition game, basically, he is.
Hey, Neil, I got a question for you.
not-
he didn't against us.
Yeah.
He ran those dudes out there like deep into the second half. No, they're legit, guys. I'm telling you.
I got a question from Steve DeYoung for you, Neil. With Ray and Dakota Prescott going to the IR, does this Holmes kick the tires out of Micah Parsons? Is Micah Parsons in conversation?
I couldn't
At
imagine
all.
that he would be.
I do not want that cancer in this locker room.
Get
him out of here.
Stick, that's a good point. Does Micah Parsons pass the Brad Holmes, Dan
No.
Campbell locker room test?
We passed on him once.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no way they trade him.
And since then, you see what he does to his teammates, like on podcasts, his brothers tweeting shit about the team. Like, this team doesn't need that. You don't want that. The talent's there, But D-Mac, sometimes talent isn't the only consideration in these. You got to know if they can gel with the rest of the team.
That's it.
Facts.
Yeah. I mean, down the road, that could be something where you've given Dak Prescott his truckload of money, CeeDee Lamb. At some point, when does a well run dry? And Stick, look, he's a great player.
Yeah.
Would I take him? Obviously, I would take him.
You want the talent.
But I'm just there's overtones.
No,
of
here's
that.
the whole thing you don't have to worry about. Because the gatekeepers are Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, and whether he lets them in or not, if they got made the trade and let him in, then you accept that to the fact that it had to be, they passed that. I think that brings up the best question is I don't think he's a fit to this team.
That's it.
No matter what the talent is.
Isn't that crazy that we're here?
No?
Lions fans.
We're here, baby. Like we
It's
can
wild.
turn down a player like Micah Parsons because it's not a culture fit.
When's Sheila
Think about
get a
that.
statue?
What?
Huh?
Well, I was thinking about that. You remember, D-Mac, how I wanted the Brad Holmes on top of the Rensen, like that thing in Brazil, right?
RIP the Rensen.
Where he's stand, but they're tearing down the Rensen,
Put
right?
on Kobo. Just down the street.
Maybe we could do like a manger with Sheila and Brad and Dan Campbell.
Lions
Oh, you want
fans.
the nativity scene?
Yeah, you know what but like a
Put
football
everybody
version.
around football. Somebody get on that. I know somebody's creative enough. Give me the football nativity Detroit Lions scene. How would it look?
No, absolutely. So, yeah, but it is trade deadline day. We will keep things monitored always. We have eyes on it with what's going on. You guys are the ultimate watchdogs, too, in the chat as well. This is where you guys come into play. Be our Adam Chef.
Can I
I prefer
ask,
the baby Jared Goff.
like, around the room, you think we're done?
Yes.
No. Nope.
I do.
So 3-1. You think we're done?
I think so. Like,
So you're telling me there's a chance?
no, obviously there's a chance.
Is it Samson?
No, but here's the deal, D-Mac. Like, the Za'Darius Smith thing, how Cleveland wanted a 4th-round pick for, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder about the market.
Okay, so you're saying that the market that
It's running a little
There's
hot.
but you think there's conversations out here a little high for Brad Holmes' liking?
Correct.
But he adjusted the market, Neil.
He did. And
So did the
11
market get adjusted then for his next move?
11:30 a.m. prices are not 4 p.m. prices either.
That's what
That is
I'm
true.
saying.
So,
He's in it, but is this not? We're in a luxury position right now, regardless, right? If there's not a move being made, you can't be upset. If there's not another, because I think he's out there trying. I don't think he's done trying, but I think to your point, he's weighing, leveraging. Like you said, he got a 1st, 2nd, 4th, 2 7ths.
okay, you know what? There it is.
Uh-oh. They done did it.
There it is, Stick.
Done did it.
There it is.
That's terrible.
MIB reviews. If we are done, we blew our true Super Bowl window last year and this year.
That's
MIB
terrible.
reviews based on what?
That is-
What evidence do you have to
that's
say
erroneous.
that? Based on the fact they're 7-1 and killing everybody? For real. What evidence do you
Tell
have
me you
to
don't
say
watch
that?
the game without telling me you don't watch the game. Tell me you just look at stats, not watch the game, dude. In the last couple weeks, out of sorts against Tampa, gave it away. But I mean, these last couple games of dominance. Did you ever feel that you were going to lose, even in the Minnesota game? Right, it's a different team, and adding this other piece.
MIB reviews. No pass rush. You just went and got Za'Darius Smith. You just went and got
Don't
him.
you have to wait till next week to say that because you've made an addition to your pass rush?
Or don't you have to wait till they lose a game? Or don't win a game by double figures on the road? That's the dumbest take. That's the dumbest take I've heard. And I knew it was coming. Stick, you knew right away. When my shoulder slumped down, you knew exactly what I read.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with this today, guys. I'm not. Then get out. If you're not on board, then get out. If you're going to sit here and talk crazy stupid like that, then get out. If that's the only move we make, we've blown our Super Bowl window. What are you talking about? Where do you get this from? Grow up, everybody. There's a Super Bowl chase. They went and made a trade. They got a premier player in the game. Everybody on board. Let's go. Sorry.
It's okay.
Brother, this guy stinks.
I knew it. I knew this was coming, though. I knew it was.
Yeah.
And you knew it was too, Spenny.
Yeah, there's Cousins out there, and you can't do much to stop them. Like, this is a great move for the Detroit Lions, and like I said, I'm sure they're going to make another one. But even if they don't, their Super Bowl window isn't closed. They haven't even begun to peak.
And by the way, no one's talked about this. Aiden Hutchinson's out for what? Maybe 14 more games. Mm-hmm. Then he's back. And next year you have Za'Darius Smith and Aiden Hutchinson on your edges.
Oh, say that.
What are we talking about here? The window's closed. Think!
Ryan's reactions in the Woodward Sports chat says, we're undefeated without a pass rush. Goff style is conductive to another 10-year window.
Conducive. Neil, I was going to say something, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way.
I do. Because shit like that, I don't have time for today. I'm a busy guy.
The Za'Darius Smith trade, I'm glad they made a move. The confidence I've gained in this team by them adding Za'Darius Smith, I got to admit, is pretty minimal because I already had very high confidence in what they were doing anyway. So I'm glad they added him. They did need a pass rusher. But even if they didn't make this move, I was okay. And the proof has been in the past 3.5 games. So, I don't want this to come off as I didn't want Za'Darius Smith. I did want something. But at the same time, I was 98% sure before. Now I'm 99%, right? So Za'Darius Smith just added an extra 1% of confidence to me.
Woodward Sports chat thread, Catspot. Smith is not remotely close to a premier player. He's got almost 80 sacks in the NFL. Is that good?
It's what does he add to what we already have? The emergence of Jack Campbell, the way the linebackers are playing, DJ Reader, Lee McNeil up front, whoever you're trying to fit in, Nowatzki or O'Connor or whatever, it's by committee. He is an asset to what they're trying to do. He's not a guy, we're not expecting him to go out there and be Aiden Hutchinson, but he's got to make what they have already better. Is that not what we understand is happening here?
And D-Mac, you know better than anyone about this statement that I'm about to make. Take Za'Darius Smith and drop him on this team in this space right now. Is he better, D-Mac? Is he even better than he was in Cleveland? Educate me about
with
this.
With Aaron Glenn in that secondary and the defense that is emerging.
Why does no one think about that?
I don't think he'll be better than he was in Cleveland. He had Myles Garrett on the other side of him in Cleveland.
Right, but this team.
The team is better, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He elevates this team.
Oh, for sure.
And that's what I'm driving
He
at.
makes the team better. But this was never about him individually coming in. And if Mason Crosby, yes, came in here, you'd expect him to game wreck. No, you expect Za'Darius Smith to be a part. Do you guys not remember him in Minnesota or remember him in Green Bay where you had to put a man on him or else, a couple times he'd be in the backfield?
I got another name, too, that I want to put out there that Michigan fans might not like to hear again, but I'm going to put it out there. And we'll get into that after break. D-Mac, tell us about Lady Jane's.
Absolutely. Walking any Lady Jane's haircuts for men today. Segway, Spenny. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, enjoy $20 haircut, special scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of their talented stylists. Take advantage of the $20 haircut special. Scan. That way, in the corner. Scan that code, $20. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, open 7 days a week. Walking anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
You and I pay our bills. Unlike my opponent, Dave Coulter, I won't take advantage of my job because I work for you. I'm Nick Jonai, and by the way, I do pay my water bills on time. and I approve this message.
Paid for by Nick Jonai for Oakland County.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Neil Rule here for Feldman Automotive, feldmanauto.com. That is the web address. There's 18 Feldman Automotive locations around the Metro Detroit area. They've been in the game since 1996. They're a staple in Detroit. They're a staple in our community. The great work they've done for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals as well. And oh, by the way, any kind of car you want, the answer is feldmanauto.com. They represent all different brands. So if you need a car, go to feldmanauto.com. Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, they're Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer, the #1 EV dealer in the nation, as a matter of fact. I can confirm. I got my car deal done in about an hour and a half. That's all it took. So, again, Feldman Auto, they're the best in the game, man. I don't know what else to tell you. feldmanauto.com. Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty. We have Stick in the booth. We got Spencer. Woodward heavyweights today, 5 to 7.
Shout out.
Little bit different take on the sports world. That's safe to say.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair to say.
We're our own brand.
You are your own brand, no doubt about it.
Sports entertainment.
Sports entertainment, yeah, no, absolutely. If you're just checking out Woodward Sports for the first time, welcome. We are Michigan's #1 sports network. That is a fact. We're the dominant digital player in sports media. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel like over 70,000 of you have done already. Follow us on all our social accounts as well. But we appreciate you tapping in. Lions get the deal done. Za'Darius Smith, we brought him home.
Yes, we did.
He's never been here before, but he's home now.
He is.
Lions give up essentially a 5th-round pick in next year's draft. There was a 6th and 7th round pick swap. That'll just be a couple of picks because the Browns stink and the Lions are good. Did that about cover it all?
That does.
Okay,
we got a couple super chats in there if you want to get to those.
Yeah,
Just popped up.
Fire away.
Yeah, you got Hashem in the Woodward Sports chat. He said, if everybody was fearing us without Hutch and Big Z Smith, they'll definitely fear us with either added on. We have to stop doubting ourselves because everybody else is shitting their pants.
Thank you. Who was that in the chat?
Hashem,
thank you. Thank you for restoring my faith in humanity. What else we got, Spenny?
You got Ryan's reaction. Says, Neil, how many sacks did Hutch have last year? How many did Za'Darius have last year? Interesting.
You talk about like stats-wise?
Yeah.
Last year, Za'Darius Smith had 6. 1 forced fumble, 18 tackles.
Yep.
So that was out there. 2022, he had 10. He's got almost 80 in his career in the NFL. Is that good?
He's got 5 already this year.
5 already this year. That is it. Some other breaking NFL trade news, because when news breaks, we break in. The Dallas Cowboys traded for Jonathan Mingo from Carolina. They got Mingo in a 7th-round pick. They gave the Carolina Panthers a 4th-round pick. I like that trade by the Panthers, by the way. It's time, man.
Yeah.
Like, if you stink, this is your path through, D-Mac. It is.
No, it really is. And that'd be like if we don't. He's a linebacker, isn't he?
But Mingo, wide receiver.
Oh, wide receiver.
2 years, 2.5 years left of rookie contract control as well.
So yeah. No, I mean, there's movement, right?
There's absolutely movement. The Bengals traded for Khalil Herbert, which he's a player. I've always liked him.
I like Khalil Herbert too.
When he
was very
plays.
happy to get out of Chicago.
Yeah, yes, he
said,
was.
Thank God.
Wait. No, Chicago's elite.
I know. Caleb Williams is going to save the franchise.
Their offense is like the best it's ever been. They got Keenan Allen. They got that other guy.
Yeah.
They drafted a Dunze. I mean, they have DeAndre Swift. They had the
weapons
backfield.
everywhere.
They got an elite quarterback. Like, I was told, Neil, that Chicago was damn good. I was told they were going to take over the North this year with that offense and Eberflus in his defense.
We were told.
Why would they be trading assets? They should be buyers.
I don't know, D-Mac. We were told. Caleb Williams elite. That's what I was told. Every time I watch them, they never score a touchdown.
Wasn't it next year when they have all the money?
Oh man, hey.
Yeah, they spent some of it on that defense. Defense is good. Like they're fine.
They got cooked by Kyler Murray.
Yes, they did.
FTB. FTB.
No doubt. So that kind of brings you up to date with what's going on. The Bears got a 7th-round pick for Khalil Herbert. So there it is. We're keeping you up to date with everything that's going on. Get your thoughts out in there. And, get it in there, as a matter of fact. All right. No, you are. You're. You know what? You're more wound up than Spenny is.
Yeah.
You getting that vibe from him?
A little bit.
I'm fired up. Like I said, I didn't think this made or break the team, but it's like, hey, you know what? This is what Brad Holmes does. If there's a weakness, he's going to make it stronger. If there's a strength, he's going to make it stronger. We go back to the Larry Sewell draft that totally didn't change this franchise. What was the strongest asset on the team at that time? The offensive line. Everything else was dog trash. So what do? You make the offensive line the elite unit.
The best.
And now you have a hole, you address it. And you panic. You didn't go out like I would have at halftime after
And gave around 3 first-rounders. Yeah.
Yeah, 2nd round pick for this guy. He waited and he was like, guys, we don't have to pursue this immediately. We can wait the 2.5 weeks. We can finally see what the teams are doing, who's falling off, how our team is trending. And guess what? Since the Lions won 3.5 games without him, they didn't have to go in there like they were some beggar, like, please give me a defensive end.
I'll go one step further, right? Team meeting during the week. Back in the days is, listen, guys, Aiden is down. I'm going to try to make, and this is in front of the whole team meeting, right? You guys win makes my job easier, and we will get even better, because not only is what is at stake in the division and what you said about how you can be behind, but also how easy it makes you, much easier it makes for Brad because he can wait. Mm-hmm. And in that time, right? Because as an athlete and a professional, what are you thinking? There's room for me to work harder and get more playing time and be more adhered. The biggest thing about this team, Neil, right, is the fact they play for each other. So if you come in here, you have to be on the same, we saw that, right? And they haven't played a perfect game. They don't need to play a perfect game. They need to be responsible when they're...
Correction, Jared Goff has played a perfect game.
That's him.
A lot of perfect games.
Right? No. But there's the caveat to everything else. But the mistakes that they've made up until the only thing that bothers me out of that game, right? And you gave up the touchdown because of an unsportsmanlike, not in a play after the play.
Right.
Right? Like, that's one of the things, Neil, that I would like. You saw that, those are the things that this team plays for each other. Branch is out. Who cares? Let's step up. Let me pick my brother up. We're gonna make mistakes. Now you got to improve and know you can't put yourself in that position. But who out here gets upset that they used to when the game starts and the other team drives and maybe breaks tackles and run? It doesn't feel like, oh, this is gonna be the whole game. This feels like, okay, we're going to start this way, but doesn't everybody else have confidence like me that we can correct our mistakes? Or if a team's make a play on us, we won't let them make it again. We are so much better defensively, and you can't argue we're not better offensively with the way these two running backs run.
Got a question for you, D-Mac. When you were playing with the Wings, is there a trade or a player that came in that's similar to Za'Darius Smith?
So I was trying, because it's Larry Murphy-ish. But
that's a good comp.
It's ish.
Yeah.
But Larry, right? So
I get where you're
with
going.
the Hall of Fame and stuff, but Murphy had cups already. But it's Larry where he's not gonna. He's gonna be solid for you. You need him. What do I always say? The biggest moves was a Shanahan. It's not as big as a Shanahan. This isn't a Shanahan move. That would be a Max Crosby move, right? This is more Larry Murphy, or if you like the Bob Rouse, Jamie McCowan-ish 98. Right, that gets slept on as the third pairing. It's somebody that comes in and fills a hole that you need. So I guess it's a Murphy light.
I like that comp.
Murphy light.
I do.
Murphy light.
Shout out to Murph. His
Shout out
lovely
Murph.
wife, Jamie. Shout out Jamie.
Shout out Jamie. Shout out to that baby girl's got
I
to
used
be
to make
3
her
now.
breakfast all the time.
What?
I used to make Murph breakfast all the time. He would come into that Coney I worked at over in Clawson.
For real?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What was it? What was his meal?
Eggs, bacon, hash browns.
That's it. Pretty simple guy. He's not apropos. That's it.
Some wheat toast.
Yeah.
Yeah. You come in there at least once a week.
Woodward Sports chat thread, the keys to wisdom. Brad has fetched us 2 defensive ends. Isaiah Thomas was for free and already recovered a fumble for us as well. And keys to wisdom, thank you. Because I think that we become so linear, like with the way we think. Like there's no nuance to anything.
Who said that?
Keys to wisdom.
So, apropos. That's on brand.
That's what I'm driving
because
at.
You know what, Neil? At the end of the day, I think he might be done unless something I think it's out there, but he did it reverse. He did the move the Isaiah Thomas move. I forgot is the move that I'm expecting now, but he already made it before he made the Za'Darius. So you got to look at those two as making the 2 guys. Do you not? If you want to give him credit, and somebody else could come, but I think, me personally, I think he's poaching off of somebody's practice team.
What do you got, Spenny? Breaking news?
No. I just got my eyes on somebody. Dante151 in the Woodward Sports chat says, but Neil, I was told by Flannel Sam that Khalil Herbert was going to have a better career in Chicago than David Montgomery. Was I lied to?
You might have been. I mean, sometimes we just got to tell people.
Dude, your first thing I was told by Flannel Sam, so I mean, boom, you should have came out with, I thought Khalil Herbert was going to be better than David Montgomery. And then it's like, who said that? Like, come on.
You know what? I got to thank you, Stick.
What's Flannel's average in takes?
We should keep that. We
what
should
would
have
Flannel
stat tracker.
What would Flannel's average be in takes? Is he hobby? Or is
he's like a shitty hobby.
He's one step above easy. We know that.
Look at Stick shouting out easy right there. And I saw these guys fist bumping at the watch party the other day. It was very uncomfortable, right? It was very uncomfortable. It had like 50 Cent Diddy vibes.
My God.
Easy's Diddy in that equation, by the way. Easy's Diddy.
Things you never see.
Just so we're clear, Easy's Diddy.
Things we never see.
Now Spenny's getting uncomfortable.
Yeah, Easy's got a good track record of calling things. You can go back and look at the tape.
Go back and look at the tweet about him talking about Jared Goff when he first got here. Yeah, great track record.
It's fair. That's one take.
That hurts him.
So does anybody want to give me Flannel's batting average? By your perception.
We got to start keeping that.
What's that?
We got to start keeping that. Like, I got to start an Excel sheet of trackers, like just boom or bust, or who's going to be good or bad, so we can hold each other accountable.
Woodward Sports chat thread, Xavier D. Sweet trade.
Yeah, but what? Sorry, but what about when you've already had a career and you put up stuff and then he still can't play again? Anyways, sorry, it's trade deadline.
Yeah.
Oh, and go vote. Remember, go vote.
Yeah, absolutely. Corey Berry, I do remember ESPN Nerd saying D-Mount would be a downgrade from Jamal Williams. Yeah, there is.
A lot of people said that.
Yes, there is. WeezyD313, thank God Brad made this trade. We weren't sacking Mason Rudolph on every third down. Get in there, though, guys. For real, subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Get in there. Let's do this then. Let's tell about Sabbath Coffee. We'll come back. More of the Za'Darius Smith stuff. Your thoughts. I'm putting Spencer on cue. Show me the path.
Oh, I got a path.
All right. I want it when we come back.
I got a path, and your path every morning should start with Sabbath Coffee. Sabbath Coffee Roasters will deliver fresh, delicious, locally roasted coffee right to your door. All you got to do is subscribe at SabbathCoffeeRoasters.com. Use code word Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. Sabbath Coffee Roasters. They got the best coffee in the game, and they'll deliver it right to your door. Wake up, enjoy, and start game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports. Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Neil Rule here for Woodward merch. Shop.woodwardsports.com. You can still get your Boodham Kid shirt. People, shout out Steve DeYoung, sent us the photo. We gotta pull that and get that on there. I know he sent it to the Woodward Sports Instagram account.
Okay,
so
I was scrolling trying to find it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And he's in the delivery room holding his newborn child with a Boodham Kid shirt on.
By the end of the day today, we'll have some new shirts up too. We got some Green Bay sucks, Chicago sucks. We're just,
You can celebrate the entire collection.
Yeah.
Shop.woodwardsports.com. Guys, get the Stoke Not Scared shirt. Za'Darius Smith is here now. Stoke Not Scared, Stoke Not Scared. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Keeping it pushing here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. That guy, Darren McCarty, perhaps you're familiar with him. He only won 4 Stanley Cups.
Sorry.
They say, Darren McCarty, you're a 4-time Stanley Cup champion. But in my mind, that makes you an 8-time Stanley Cup loser.
There you go. But that's perfection.
That is
that's
perfection.
Why you're the president and have the golden voice.
No, absolutely. Stick is in the building as well. Of course, we also have Spencer Raxter, one half of the heavyweights. Yeah, I do like it. But get your thoughts in that Woodward Sports chat thread. Over 70,000 YouTube subscribers. If you're just joining us, welcome. That's number 1. Number 2, where you been? We're doing it better than anybody. You can look right now, as a matter of fact, as a testament to that with what's going on. But we're taking your thoughts, everybody. Get it in. Lions trade for Za'Darius Smith, essentially for a 5th-round pick in next year's draft. That's pretty much the breakdown of it. There's a pick swap with the 7th and 6th. But the moral of the story is they get Za'Darius Smith. There's no guaranteed money with them, and they give up a 5th-round pick. And, oh, by the way,
Can they get a 7th-round pick?
What's that?
They get a 7th-round pick, too.
Right, yeah, the 6-7 swap.
I think that the biggest thing here, because when we talked back, and one of the talking points when we talked about waiting was less games, less having to pay at the end of the schedule. So now you got, 9 games left? Right? You're paying them $600. You're not even paying them anything. So you're actually saving, making the Browns pay for them. Like to me, Neil, that's even more so because you kept the flexibility, and maybe that's a sign because of something else that he wants to do. I don't know, but it just tells me that he got what he wanted.
And that is too, and those are the reports. What I've heard was the Browns were dead set on getting a 4th,
and then they realized that, and Brad realized, right? Because it would have been easy, but it also goes to show you that he still values a lot his draft picks because of what he can do with it. He knows that he's got a special touch with that. So, I mean, just let these guys cook. They're cooking right now. We're right in the middle of it, boys. Like, you watch it. We're, watching games and not being worried that a team's going to run all over you because they break a few runs or make a few completions early, because your team's going to compete all game and through adversity.
Calm Flower Garden. By the way, J-Mo's back.
Don't forget.
Jamison Williams will be back from suspension.
I like the comment, too, here by Xavier D. Always a good commenter. The 7th is to trade today. So,
Telling you.
Brad's in the trap house just flipping. That's all he's doing. He's just taking stuff and flipping it.
Bees in the trap.
He's stepping on the 7th pick. He's cutting it up a little. He's going to trade it for even more than it's worth.
He's a name.
He's going to chop the dough.
You got a name?
I got a name that I want.
Oh.
Terrell NFL, super chat real quick. He says, casuals, Wheezy in parentheses, think beating up on mid quarterbacks means we were just going to destroy everyone all year. Elite QBs make no pressure, pay the price. Great trade, bring more boys home, #BD.
Woodward Sports chat thread, William says, who else the Lions going to trade for? Well, William, I bring to you Mr. Spencer Raxter.
Yes.
Let him speak on this.
Yes. Welcome.
What's the path?
May I present to you one Jadeveon Clowney. At one point, the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. At one point, one of the biggest freak prospects to come out of college football out of South Carolina. He's bounced around in his career. Last year for the Ravens, he had 9.5 sacks. A great season for him. He got signed to the Carolina Panthers, who have already shipped out some guys today. He is on 2 years, this year and next year. His total guaranteed salary of those 2 years is $4 million. Jadeveon Clowney is a fantastic piece, and he fits what Brad Holmes, Aaron Glenn, and Dan Campbell want to do. He plays the run just as well as he plays the pass. He's actually better at playing the run this year, but he's on Carolina, so they just double team him. Jadeveon Clowney, go look at his tape. Some might say, oh, he takes plays off, or he's not into it. You would think that because he's playing in Carolina. Go look at his tape. This man is busting his ass.
He's a pro.
Every single snap. He goes up there.
Because he wants to get out of there.
He wants to get out. Jadeveon Clowney is awaiting for someone to lift him from the terrible, terrible situation in Carolina. Brad Holmes can get that done with some pieces remaining. He is not expensive. He would not cost a lot on cap, and he would provide a huge boost to this team at the edge.
He's a $14 million cap hit next year. $4 million of that is signing bonus proration. So there's that out there. He's got a base salary of $8.5 million for next year. The problem is he's a $6 million dead cap next year. So Carolina would have to, to eat that.
Yeah.
They're going to want to be compensated. Okay. So, and I like it. I love where you're at with that. Now I don't want to call him a distressed asset, but he's in the distressed asset lane of the highway.
Here's Dallas's 6th, and here's the 7th we just got. Give me Jadeveon Clowney.
Is that enough?
Yes.
I don't know if that's enough for them to take a $6 million dead cap.
It's enough without the dead cap money. Am I reading this right?
Correct.
I'll pay $2 million of that dead cap.
See, now we're talking.
Yeah.
So
so
Neil, is it a $2 million of the dead cap? $2 million.
Give me 3 and it's done.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. See, we did the trade. Boom, done. Jadeveon Clowney. Graphic department, put it out there.
Yep, cook it up.
Woodward Sports reporting. Jadeveon Clowney.
I wouldn't mind it. What brings it up? Like I was in Raymond James Stadium. Michigan, South Carolina. I was sitting next, aisle over in the end zone from the band of South Carolina when Jadeveon Clowney, who did he hit? Mike Hart or whoever he blew up in the backfield.
Yeah.
It sounded like a freaking bus accident or a train crash or whatever. It was the loudest sound I've ever heard live. But anyways, what I like about that, Spenny, is you're telling me that he's healthy or whatever, but the motivated at the more later on in his career, he doesn't have to be that every down guy. He can be more of a spot guy. I mean that's a name that intrigues.
But he can play every down too. Like I said, he's just as good in the run game as he is in the pass.
So what tells me is that if that is something that they're calling on and doesn't go through, it's because the dead cap money doesn't make sense. Like Brad doesn't get what he wants done because he doesn't have to settle for anybody else what they want.
Big Con 51, I live in Charlotte. I can attest. Clowney has the motor. And there are people in there. Steve O'Baby. Neil, where's my happy birthday? What the hell? Hey, happy birthday, Steve O'Baby.
Happy birthday, Steve.
And there are people in the chat right now. Smurda Bobby says no one wants Clowney. Then you don't know ball, man.
You don't know ball.
You don't know ball. Now, if you want to tell me
the Ravens wanted him,
that tells you a lot right there.
That's a pretty damn good organization.
Now, and if you want to, now look, when you say no one wants Clowney and you leave it at that, then I can't rock with you on that. Now, if you tell me Brad Holmes doesn't want Clowney, that's a different discussion.
Yep.
If it doesn't fit the room, that's a different discussion. But see, Spenny's coming to you with common sense stuff right now. That's common sense. It just is. He's a pro. And look, because he's always going to be weighted differently in this town because he snatched a Michigan player's soul and dignity in one play.
And his helmet.
Yeah, all of it.
Stick, it was unbelievable.
It was the best part about it is like he wasn't trying till he wanted to try, and then it was like, I'm just going to destroy this whole game.
So,
but I do worry about that though, because that has been the knock on him, and I know, like that's what you addressed when you initially said it, but that has been the knock. The guy takes plays off, and when you're uber talented like that, sometimes that just comes with the territory. So, but you gotta hope
you don't take plays off in this culture, dude. Again, I go to the gatekeepers.
You gotta hope he can fit in, right?
Dude, we can talk about it all we want. We can give you the math. Spenny can break it down, whatever like that. But if Brad Holmes don't open the door, you ain't getting in.
Yeah.
He had 10 sacks last year. Baltimore played 57% of the snaps. He's a pro.
He's a pro.
That kind of fits the mold. So
and Shmurda Bobby, Ravens wanted him for 1 year. Why didn't they keep him? Because they paid Matabuki $24 million a year.
Why don't people still understand that?
I don't know, dude. I don't understand these people, man.
Do you remember too?
That's layered, right? You got to know what's going on. Some people's fandom is more surface based. So you know what I'm saying? It's just got to look where it comes from.
And Detroit Lions villain fan, Clowney not worth it. He doesn't fit the culture. Fuck off with that shit. The culture is set. You can bring in anybody you want, and they adapt to the culture. The Detroit Lions culture, you know what it is? It's winning football games. That's the culture in Detroit.
And competing.
You bring in a guy, they adapt to the culture.
Well, they don't get brought in if they're not adapted to the culture. That's Dan Campbell, his quote this morning on Brad Holmes is, I trust him. He knows what he's doing, and if it works out, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I like the thought of, but it's like the thought of giving away high capital for a player none of us are going to like. It just doesn't sit well with any of us. Like, that just shows, it's like, no. We're not going to give up high capital for a guy we don't like as a person.
Or
we don't want him
think
here.
Can fit in just because maybe he's had difficulties elsewhere or something, but they know deeper about this guy, right? That's where you come in. There's these questions. Hey, who's boys with this guy? Who knows this guy? Went to school with him? Bring him in here. What's he really about? And you know what? Because they're all building the same way and their goals all the same, everybody's going to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, do you not see that in every facet of this team?
Well, that's what I just love about how Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are attached at the hip. It's just for quotes like that. And, he ended up saying, so if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we've got what we got here, and we'll win with it. Love it.
That's it. And, guys, they were winning anyway.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They were winning anyway.
And they added somebody.
And if you really want to get granular about it, I was thinking about this on the drive in this morning. People that are losing their minds about, well, what are you going to do when you play Mahomes or Lamar?
Same thing they've been doing for the past 7 games.
Well, there's that.
8 games.
But then the other angle of it is, okay, let's flip that around then.
What are they going to do about us?
That is number one. And then number two, for real, who stops these guys that you're talking about? That's A. But then B, who do they have left to play? For real. Well, they got Josh Allen, right?
Josh Allen, C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud looks regular lately.
Brock Purdy.
You see what I'm driving at here, Spenny?
Yeah.
Let's start using our heads here, everybody. You're not going to have to play Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. They both aren't going to make it out of the AFC.
The NFC are so lucky to be in it this year.
Hey, and who would you rather play? I'd rather play Kansas City.
I would too.
Yeah.
Guys, wrap your heads around this. The Detroit Lions are a Super Bowl favorite in the NFL. If you don't believe me, go open Caesar Sportsbook. If you don't believe them, then I don't know what to tell you. It's now. This is a move that fortifies it. It's now. The window, the people talking about the window, all of it. It's time to ride. Za'Darius Smith is here now. It's time to go. Go win the Super Bowl. Yes, this is real. And I know some of you are conditioned. We talked about this yesterday. Some of the people out there are conditioned to think that this is never possible. It's here, guys. We're living in the time. Detroit Lions, Super Bowl favorites to win the Super Bowl. They are in the discussion with all those teams you're conditioned to think of. We are here. We are here, and we are a factor. And Brad Holmes today went and did the deal that fortifies that. It's time to go, everybody. It's time to go. Sunday Night Football this weekend. The Houston Texans. The watch party for Woodward Sports at Hayes Social. Get in, everybody. The pregame shows. We do football better than anyone on this network. Sunday's electric, D-Mac. Today's electric. The more I think about this, that is it right there.
Thank you, Rick.
No, that is it.
Yeah, give it to me,
and it's just kind of like I was excited about it, obviously hearing it this morning, but this moment, D-Mac.
Yeah.
We're fortified. We're locked. We're loaded. It's go time. Even if nothing else happens, the expectations remain the same. Super Bowl, Detroit Lions. We go now. We go, D-Mac.
100,000,000%. Watching that game the other day, right? The one question that you had about this team, which I love Jared Goff's interview after, because it was, we don't play outside. We can't play outside. Guy goes like 11 for 11 to start the game, 18 for 22. Just like this team can play and adapt to any adversity, right? And still, like just the way that they do it with the two running backs. Now they have to continue. The biggest thing now, they can't afford to lose anybody else. Right, anyone for the expected time,
and that's everybody,
and that's everybody too. But they're doing this because you see how that Aiden Hutchinson injury has almost galvanized this team. Like if you're truly about, and what we're seeing is what I always preach: when the guy beside you is betting yourself, you're ready to win. These guys are ready to win.
I love Cartier's comment. Get in, loser. We're heading to the Super Bowl.
Woodward Sports chat thread, real quick here. Mike O'Neill's driving the bus to the Super Bowl. That's the expectation. The show goes on. Absolutely it. I eat quick. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We're getting the Super Bowl, baby. Like, I'm in. I was in before. I was all the way in before, but I'm really all the way in.
It was real before. Now it's real.
I saw somebody said Adiz and Granderson make more sense than Clowney. No, they don't. Those are guys that either just got paid a huge deal in Granderson or are waiting for a huge deal in Aziz. They do not make more sense than Clowney.
The reason the Lions are good is because the business end of things is tightened up. Make no mistake about that. Basketball guy. This guy needs a woman. I'll be at your mom's house later. So that's don't worry, she's got me covered, everybody.
Hey.
You might get a workout in there, but when you need a workout, where are you gonna go?
Hey, yo.
Break a sweat with his mom or at Planet Fitness.
Right here, everybody. Planet Fitness Studio. Stay in shape for basketball guy's mom. There's over 50 Metro Detroit locations. There's over 2,600 of them around the world as well. Black card option, $24.99 a month, gets you access to all of them. That is right. It's the best gym in the gym game. I've been a member over 3 years. I'll never be a member at a different gym. Never. Because Planet Fitness has everything I need. Tons of weights, tons of cardio equipment, 30-minute circuits, stretch zones, all of it. Clean facilities, clean locker room. Go take a shower. Go on about your day. Planet Fitness, all you need to know. Planet Fit. Why are you going to pay more money to lift the same weights? The weights all weigh the same, everybody. Save some money. Go to Planet Fitness. Be in the top-notch gym in the gym game. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
I love it when Big D Energy gets heavyweight, where your fitness is essential.
All right.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs. Like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, Newhouse, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
2. 1800 Tequila is a proud partner of the Detroit Lions. They got the bottle that's sponsored by the Lions, so make sure you go out and get that while you can. And of course, they are a proud sponsor of the Detroit Lions live watch party and post-game show here at Woodward Sports. 1800 Tequila, the smoothest tasted tequila, and please drink responsibly.
All right, welcome back to Big D Energy. Neil had to hit the road because he's
going
off.
over to basketball guy's mom's house.
Yeah, Neil had to go.
He was serious. Don't call his bluff.
No, Neil's like, all right, you know what? I'm out of here right now. I'm heading over to her house. No, but Neil, college basketball season is here. Neil is the official voice for Oakland University basketball, so he is on his way to somewhere in the west side of the country.
He said.
Boise.
Yeah.
Boise, Idaho.
But welcome back to Woodward Sports. This is Big D Energy. My name is Stick, now filling in for Neil Rule on the desk. That, of course, is four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty. We have Spenmo Rax in the TD booth. And, of course, the biggest news of the day, Za'Darius Smith, officially a Lion. People have been panicking for about 3 weeks. Brad Holmes not going to make a move. Brad Holmes made a move. And we could talk about how it's going to affect us immediately. But one thing I was looking at is the depth for next year. And I don't want to get too far ahead. Obviously, we still got a lot to accomplish this season. But think about next year. Za'Darius Smith, Aleem McNeil, DJ Reader, Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, and then you've got rotational pieces that you could throw in there, like Wingo and Josh Pascal, Levi Onwuzurike, and I'm assuming you're going to get an edge at some point in the draft this year as well. So, yeah, that defensive line looks pretty fearsome coming into next year. But this year, that's just another body. This guy is now the best player on your team at getting to the quarterback, and you went and got him for nothing.
D-Mac, you brought up a point earlier that this type of trade this year will make a guy like Aiden Hutchinson even go harder in rehab. Not that he wasn't going as hard as he possibly could, but now it's like, oh my goodness.
It's not the physical part, Dick. It's the mental part. The hardest part about a long-term injury is mentally not just being out there, but motivating yourself to know that you can get there. But when you get there, there's something you look forward to, right?
You're not just climbing the mountain
he's
for
looking
nothing.
he's looking like Neil got excited and it hit him the last moment. I'm sure all these guys in Allen Park, when they heard this news and stuff was going down, it galvanizes them because you're adding another asset to your army, so to speak, right? This is like you got backup, and then you look at where does this guy specialize in, and the biggest thing, right? Getting to the quarterback, the newest nuance, whatever, pressures, right? We hear about pressures and make fun of them a lot of time, but that's like a lot of the game, especially why are pressures important to this team? We got two of the best ball hawks in the secondary back there, so you take that half a second and you look at the way that, look at the upgrade from Cam Sutton, Carlton Davis is what Cam Sutton was supposed to be.
Carlton Davis is
unfortunately, you know what? And he tried, but Carlton Davis, and you see how hard it is to play corner in this league, but then you got a young guy on the other side, but they get better each game. And then what we haven't talked about, right, a lot of that gets bypassed, we never bring up the linebackers. Oh. Right, but look at the evolution of Jack Campbell and where he's coming. Alex Anzalone, look at that stop. Like, these guys are just all over it, not only physically but game plan and with Aaron Glenn and stuff like this. So I'm excited because it's, as Dan Campbell using one of his terms, here's a guy adhering to the herd. So adding somebody that's going to be an asset, and it galvanizes you, and it even galvanizes a guy like Aiden Hutchinson more mentally to stay ready, to do the film study, to do the stuff that he can do. They were saying at the broadcast that him being around is a motivation. Yes, he's engaged as much part of the team. This is going to only help. What do you think? Aiden Hutchinson and Darius Smith are going to be in the film study and going through things of what he'd do in this. Maybe tricks of the trade and practice just talking. That's a huge part you don't understand as a professional, is your time around your teammates and getting knowledge from experienced guys or guys that have the talent or want to do it.
What does a team learn from itself? Because obviously you've been on professional teams at an elite level. When you lose a star player, but your other guys step up in the weeks that they're absent, and then you add another player to the mix. Like, what goes through a team psyche? Is it, oh my God, is panic at first? How are we going to handle this without Aiden? Then, oh my gosh, we've done really well without Aiden. Now we're getting some reinforcements. How does that help a team psyche, I guess?
No, because this all goes back to Dan Campbell. And I bring it up in 2021 saying when he had to realize that he had to prepare like all his starters were down. So he's not asking guys. We're not in a position to ask guys to do things that this team, their coaches, which by the way, former players, which are just as big of a part of this team, right? All the coaching positions and stuff like that. So it's the experience, but maybe they're asking them to do something that that the coaches think they can, but haven't been put in that position as much. But now is their time. Because why? Because you're preparing that if this happens, we're going to have to go to plan B, plan C, to whatever. But that's why they're always looking for the guys. That's why it's more of committee. You look at that, we use the offensive line as our biggest asset. But for a long time, it's about rotation, or it was about depth until you got to the stability of what it is now, right? And then you add Skipper in, here and there and things like that. So that's the big thing, right? Sticking like more than anything. And that comes down to, that's why those are the little things that go into making Brad Holmes so elite.
And I get like, professional athletes are grown-ass men. Okay, but that leads perfectly into this question. How do you welcome in a new player into the locker room, right? Because everybody's different.
Oh, no. What's
it going to be like when he steps foot in the locker room today?
Like when they go in for the pile-up after the victory speech, they say 1, 2, 3 family. No, dude, there's hugs. And it's like welcome, and it's like this and that. And also, too, they know a lot about each other because they've played against each other, right? Like, so that offensive, there's going to be, they're going to reminisce about the times that they've gone, head-to-head.
There's guys that'll vouch for you.
They've already got
it's like you're transferring schools, right?
They've already got some camaraderie. I mean, if you go back and watch tape at the end of the games, right? Who's he hugging when he was with Green Bay after we're done in Detroit? Who is he hugging when he was in Minnesota? Yeah. Who's his boys? So that's, you follow it along. And a lot of it, too, there was conversations, right, with who are his boys about the character. Like, this is all the due diligence that goes behind it.
And on top of that, before we go to break, I just want to throw onto that. The Lions also, it's not just a young team anymore. They got veterans on their defense with DJ Reader and Carlton Davis and Alex Anzalone. These are guys who have been around the league for a while, have played against Za'Darius Smith a couple times, so he's familiar with these guys. So it's not like he's just going in to a team full of rookies. Like, there are guys on there now that have
I think that's a great point, too, to the people that knock Brad Holmes and say he's only a draft guy. Look at the first 2 names you listed, Carlton Davis and DJ Reader.
Yeah.
And draft those guys, but all of a sudden they're staples in the defense, and now you add Za'Darius Smith. So he's adding great pieces in other ways. It may not be the over-the-top splash where you're giving away 3 first-round picks, a second in Jahmyr Gibbs for Max Crosby or Myles Garrett, which I cannot believe was actually on the internet.
Yeah,
but
ridiculous.
That's not what Brad Holmes is doing. He's adding pieces in an intelligent way, pragmatic, smart, malicious, violent, a villain, and he's just doing what he has to do around the league.
And what about second best?
Second best, they do what they do every pregame show. And when the Lions are home, there's no better place to come experience game day than downtown Detroit, 42 Randy Watson Street in Detroit. It's called Second Best. They got some damn good chicken sandwiches. Tullamore is out there, so you can sip some whiskey. The boys will be out there every pregame show when we have a home game. So look forward to see you at Second Best.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? Well, you expand and offer more products to more people. Exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. Same great service that customers have come to know and trust. On Woodward Ave, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today. LesStanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Vroom, vroom.
And welcome back to Big D Energy live on the Woodward Sports Network. Trade deadline day here in Detroit. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule. That is 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty. Spencer Raxter in the TD booth. All of you in the chat, make sure you liking, make sure you're subscribing. This is what we do here at Woodward Sports. It's a big day in Detroit. I feel bad for the Pistons. They played well last night, but nobody going to be talking about that today. It's all about Za'Darius Smith adding this man to the lineup for $605,000. To me, that was the most startling part about this trade. If you haven't seen the details, Lions acquire the 2026 7th-round pick. They get Za'Darius Smith. They only have to pay $605,000 to that man this year. Next year, $11 million, but that's a non-guaranteed cap hit. The Browns get back a 5th and a 6th. The Cleveland, they're pretty much paying us $5 million for this guy to play for us.
Yes, for a 5th-round pick.
Brad Holmes went in there. The rumor was they wanted a 4th-round pick for this guy.
Yep.
Brad Holmes went in there, negotiated, and said, you know what? Here's the best I'll give you. I'll give you a 5th and a 6th, but I need back a 7th, and I need almost $5 million for you guys to pick up his cap. And I said, okay. Just slowly unzip their pants, hold it down. Said, okay, take what you want, Brad. Take it all.
You think this was that type of situation, or it was something that he just knew that this is where?
Well, you got to remember the general manager of the Browns now is Bob Quinn, so we know he's not a very smart and savvy man.
So hopefully,
so the first time in the history of the NFL, Bob Quinn
made a good
helped
move
the
for
Lions.
the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bob Quinn. Maybe he's making up for what he did to this team while Matt Patricia was here.
There we go.
So Bob Quinn. Let's give it up for Bob Quinn today, helping out the Lions, because some people were worried that he was just going to stalemate you because of his history here in Detroit, but no, Brad Holmes was able to go in there,
why does
work
it smell
his
like
magic,
caca
and I
in
highly
here?
doubt that it's done. Spenny, let's put up a poll.
Yeah.
How many people think the Lions are done making moves? And then you can say make more moves or they're done for the day, because I do not think they're done. I mean, I know they only cleared 2 spots yesterday on the roster, so that kind of gave away. One of those is for J-Mo. Now, clearly, one of them is for Za'Darius Smith. You think maybe they would have cleared another roster spot if they were making another move?
You can do that at any time, though. That's not too crazy. If the move's there to make, they're going to make it.
Yeah. D-Mac, when a team in your division makes a move like this, like you said, this is like a Larry Murphy acquisition. It's not like a Brendan Shanahan or a Brett Hall acquisition, even though Murph can hold his own in that aspect. What does it send to the rest of the division?
Oh, yeah. No, well, also, too, we've talked about it a lot. Neil's brought it up. The fact is that you prevent a player going to another team in your division so you don't have to play against them. I mean, that's a benefit also. But I think that everybody knows, especially the Minnesotas and the Green Bays, right? They know because they've played us what they're dealing with. And now when we've just solidified, and the benefit also, both those organizations know this specific player because he's played in their organization. Yeah. So that might be double gulp because they know what a beast he can be and how they can help it. So a lot of times you just go like fuck me. I mean, I got to play against that guy too. So, I mean, it happens too as different teams fortify their guys. I mean, along the line, it's not to the effect, but the Colorado adds Patrick Waugh from Montreal. I mean, that's. You'd rather have any other goalie in there.
Well, and one of the things I really like about this is we've already played the Packers once, and we've already played the Vikings once. Now, next time we play them, this is something that they didn't have to.
I just like the fact that but they know the player.
Right, but
He's
now
been
they got to
there.
account for
That's
him next
what I'm
time we
saying.
play. And this was a factor they really didn't have to worry about, especially the Packers. Well, I guess both of them didn't have to deal with the edge rush, really, because Aiden Hutchinson was out for both games. So now, next time you play them, at least that puts something in their thought process, something in the back. They got to spend some time during the practice week addressing this guy, his strength, how they're going to block him. So really, if anything else, it distracts your opponent for a little bit, right?
Yeah, or one other thing to prepare for, because obviously with all these things said, he's a good player that you have to know where he is in the game plan, right? He's not a guy coming off a practice squad who really hasn't done anything. This is a seasoned veteran. And that's the beauty, too. And that's what you see, too, Spenny, is that this team is more of a veteran. It's a mid to veteran team.
Yeah, it's you supplemented those great drafts with other players. You saw it with a David Montgomery at first. You saw it with other guys you brought in. And like you said, this year in the offseason, DJ Reader, you sign him. You sign a Kevin Zeitler. You trade for a Carlton Davis. You bring in guys. I loved it because it is a veteran now at all three facets of the defense. So the defensive line, the linebacking core, and the defensive backfield.
Hey, would you say this is like adding Zeitler on the offensive line to adding Za'Darius Smith on the defense?
If Hutch was still healthy, yes, because Zeitler
Zeitler
wasn't the missing piece,
it can
right?
evolve into that. So you say it's a lesser piece than that.
Right.
But because as Spenny brought up, the bonus is you have that guy next year when Hutch is healthy. Yeah. So you are going to see that. So to your point, with Hutch on the other side, makes Smith's value even more, right? So to that point, here's what James Houston was supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, and what I liked about this is, last year everybody wanted Jadeveon Clowney, but it was for, what would they get him for, like 8 games, was it, for a third-round pick? Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, that third-round pick got reimbursed because of, how the trades work and all that, but still, giving up that much capital for a rental when you can give up what you gave up this year, a 5th and a 6th, you're getting a 7th back, and now you got this guy for 2 years. So it's not just a rental. Now you're building up your defense for next year. So that's another part of this puzzle where Brad Holmes is just so elite at what he does. He's not going to go out and spend capital on rentals that are here today, gone tomorrow. These are pieces that will be a part of the team for the foreseeable future. And that's what I love about this trade.
Yeah, and isn't it funny that it always comes, like, we're always bringing Clowney's name up, but it sort of makes even more sense this year than it did last year. So, what time's the deadline? Is it 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock.
PM, yep.
Well, that's perfect. So you can tune in here to Woodward Heavyweights. You can see Spenny and Easy, and they will have everything around the league up to date.
I saw the way you guys titled your show yesterday. Y'all know what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. That's what it's all about,
what
man.
They do.
This is... Like, football is king for a reason. When the trade deadline happens, the world stops, and everybody only cares about football. Yep. Even if there's an election going on, even if the Pistons just won their 2nd game in November, like, this is all everybody cares about is NFL.
Normally the heavyweights will title their show. It'll be like heavyweights and the date, right? Like we all do. But it was like Za'Darius Smith a Lion? Question mark. Yeah, so they knew what they were doing yesterday, and you got your wish.
Shout out to Noah B, man. That was the highest viewed heavyweights episode ever. So that man knows YouTube.
Aren't you happy we got Noah?
Fantastic addition.
Thank Ryan Lentz for bringing in a beast. It's like us bringing in Za'Darius Smith.
Literally.
Us bringing in Noah.
Yeah. He's killing it, man.
Yeah, those thumbnails look awesome.
So good.
Yeah, we got some new guys in the back, so hopefully you guys are experiencing a little bit more of Woodward Sports. And if you want to see more, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you do all that good stuff. It's trade deadline day in Detroit. Hearing some ramblings, Broder, our very own Matthew Broder, has been on Twitter teasing a couple of other names. You can catch him Woodward in Maine with Terry Foster every game day, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We'll get into who's Broder bringing up right after this, but who we got to talk about, Spenny?
I will tell you about actually, no, you will. It's a pregame show.
What am I telling them about?
The pregame show.
Oh, the pregame show.
Aforementioned Woodward and Maine.
Yeah, pregame show. Woodward and Maine is going to kick off your game day. That's going to stay the same this week, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. What's a little bit different is the pregame show on the road, and we've moved it 6:30 to 8:30, leading right up into Sunday Night Football, live from Hayes Social, 21 Mile and Hayes in Shelby Township. We're going to do the pregame show starting at 6:30. We're going to do the watch party with Spenny and Easy, going boom for about 5 hours.
No booms.
And then, no that was so funny this past week. And then, of course, the post-game show with myself and Anson. But make sure you tune in. Woodward Sports, we cover the Lions digitally better than anybody on the planet. I can say that with confidence. Brought to you by Sabbath Coffee, Tullamore Dew, 1800 Tequila, and, of course, New Holland.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
You and I pay our bills. Unlike my opponent, Dave Coulter, I won't take advantage of my job because I work for you. I'm Nick Jonai, and by the way, I do pay my water bills on time, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Nick Jonai for Oakland County.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza now has signature wings. They are only for a limited time, so get them while you can. They're delicious, guys. Let me tell you. They have 7 different flavors. My favorite, personally, is the spicy garlic, but you can try them all and choose your favorite for yourself. Again, limited time offer. Get them while you can. To find a Soroki's near you, go to Sorokis.com.
And welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule right now. He is on his way to Boise to call the Oakland University basketball game. That man sitting to my left is none other than Darren McCarty. And then, of course, we got Spencer, who you just heard from.
Hello.
Obviously, it's trade day. Za'Darius Smith officially a Lion. I have some inside information. He's already on his way to Detroit, and we'll be having dinner somewhere near here in Birmingham tonight.
Oh,
look at you.
So if you're a stalker and you want, he's a big man, so I wouldn't run up on him, but,
we should put Nick out on the streets and see if,
to find him.
Find him, bring him in the studio. Yeah.
That would be awesome. But Za'Darius Smith, he's a Lion. Everybody's happy about it, but people want more. They want more. They don't think Brad Holmes is done. I mean, what was the result of that chat?
It's up right now. 72% more help is on the way.
72% think more help is on the way. And one man that keeps getting rumored, our very own Matthew Broder, put it on Twitter this morning, Carl Granderson.
Yeah.
He plays for the Saints right now, 27 years old, from the University of Wyoming. Spenny, is this a guy that was on your radar? Because I honestly haven't heard his name brought up before today.
He's been put on the radar of people because obviously the Saints fired their head coach. Dan Campbell has the ties to New Orleans and the situation there. It's not very it's not very possible for me because he is just got paid. He does have a longer deal. There's a lot of cap hits and different things that break down on his contract. Similar with the way Azeez Ojulari, to me, isn't that like, doesn't make that much sense because he's looking for a big deal, and I don't think the Lions are looking for that kind of guy.
I do like Ojulari.
I love Ojulari on this team, but he's looking to get paid. I don't think the Lions are looking to pay somebody long term at this trade deadline. That's why a guy like Clowney or a guy like Chase Young, I think, is more realistic than a Granderson.
The thing I like about this guy is he's available, right?
Yep.
2020, he played 15 games. 21, 15 games. 22, 16 games. 23, 17 games. He's played all the games so far here in 2024. Last year, he had 8.5 sacks. Not so bad. This year, already 3.5 sacks, 21 solo tackles, 13 assists. You know, he's forced to fumble. So it's just another piece that can be added. But, yeah, it's funny now that the top tier of who everybody wanted besides Myles Garrett and besides Max Crosby, I think Za'Darius Smith was probably the most realistic, attainable top-tier guy that the Lions were going after, right?
Yeah, that's really what it was. You know, you heard all the talkings. He himself talked openly about playing for the Lions, like, oh, I get to play these two teams twice a year. Hell yeah. But I think Brad was even holding out a little bit to see maybe what if the Bengals slip up and lose a game and you could get Hendrickson? What if the Browns or the Raiders can be talked down a little bit on their asking price? So like Brad Holmes said, nothing was off, or like Dan Campbell said, nothing was off the table. Like Brad Holmes said, you know, we're trying every avenue. Eventually, you got to get somebody that got somebody. I love the pick. Or I love the trade.
And it's perfect. And when you talk about Granderson too, where you're worried about the contracts, don't be. Because whatever it is, if he comes here, you got to know that it's going to be benefiting Detroit. We're not in a position, they're in a position now where they don't have to make that move. And isn't it nice to be able to trust the GM and just, this is what I do, but whatever he does, I'm going with it.
Ooh, someone brought it up in the chat. Just Google Granderson and charges.
Yeah.
When he was a rookie.
So again, does he fit? Does he fit does he get in the door to begin with?
I mean, just off what I'm reading here, I would assume no. The presiding judge rejected a proposed plea deal. He was given a 1-year unsupervised probation and mental evaluation for a sexual assault. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It answers your question.
And I hate to judge somebody on something, but, also you've been judged and you've been found guilty, so it's not like I'm waiting to say what the court has to say. So, yeah, that may take him off the list. Outside of that, but that's who Broder was talking about this morning. Outside of that, I really haven't heard any other attacking names. We heard that Brad Holmes has made calls about Max Crosby. You got to assume when he was on the phone with the Browns, he reached out about Myles Garrett. Trayvon Walker is somebody that potentially, I don't know. If they're not done adding, who are they going to add? Let us know who you think in the chat. D-Mac, do you think they need to continue to add, or
no? They can't. It's a bonus.
It's just all icing on the cake.
Right. It's like Dan Campbell said. Whether we do, we don't. Whatever it is, it's just going to even benefit more. That's why it's got to be something that benefits now the Lions. I think that they're happy. I really think, thinking back, they did it backwards. Right, because I got Isaiah Thomas for nothing, right? And he's a guy that he's sort of like that cat, that extra piece. That's that type of player is if they're going to add somebody. But I still think that they might poach one off somebody's practice squad. That's what I think.
Well, they have a list, and I wish somebody could sneak into Brad Holmes' office. I wish they could do this on draft night too. Sneak into Brad Holmes and actually see what their big board looks like compared to like a Mel Kiper and all those guys. Because it's different. They evaluate players different than the rest of the NFL, and you're seeing it. So you wonder who's on Brad Holmes' board.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if anybody is still. Like we said, we'll see if they make another move. I see people throwing Arden Key, a name out there. Apparently, Jeremy Fowler said some teams have contacted the Titans about Arden Key. We saw he had a great kind of audition for the Detroit Lions when we did play the Titans. He was giving Jared Goff hell out there. This is the story of a girl. No, this is something where they're not going to get an Azeez Ojulari, unfortunately. At least I don't think, because he is going to be more expensive. They're not going to get a guy that's going to cost you a second-round pick or anything like that. But if you can make a deal, make a move for a guy who's kind of on a good contract, expiring kind of contract, like a Clowney or like a Chase Young, that is another body you can bring in and get it cheap. That is, if you expect someone of that caliber.
Well, the good news is, with Za'Darius Smith only costing $600,000, the Lions still have $27 million in cap space. They could still go get anybody.
Yes.
Anybody.
They really could.
Even if it is a half-a-year rental, which I said Brad Holmes isn't going to do. But if you can go get a major player on an expiring contract where the team just wants to off it and you could swallow the $27 million, but it comes off the books next year anyways, go do it, right? Go spend the money.
Isn't that the conversation the last 4 hours of the trade deadline right now, is like maybe teams trying to unload or get money or whatever like that? And that's always a caveat too when you look at, you have stuff in the bank.
That's a good question for you, D-Matt, because I'm sure you're a little more familiar with it than me. At what point does the pressure go on the sellers, not the buyers, to like bargain basement people, just get them out of here?
Depends where the organization's at.
Okay.
Depend on if this is a great time. Maybe if they're planning on, starting over or what. Like what do the Giants do?
Yeah.
Like stuff like this. When you're looking in the draft and you're looking to draft high and stuff like this, do they unload? Is somebody like it's where I think it goes. It's a different conversation per each team to see where they are.
Yeah. But
again, it could at the end of the day, if somebody and what do we always say? Somebody's going to do something stupid.
Yeah.
They always do. They don't. Somebody doesn't make the proper deal. Usually you look to Carolina for some, quick trigger action or whatever, but maybe Jacksonville's doing stuff, and it's the teams that I think more or less that are preparing and they got to shed things so at the last minute. So
yeah, I truly believe Jadeveon Clowney will get moved at some point today. I would love to see him on the Detroit Lions. I think that'd be a great piece. The Azeez Ojulari one that we bring up, it would cost more, and he is just on a one-year deal, but if you don't re-sign him and he goes somewhere else and gets paid a shit ton of money, which he will, you get that pick back in compensation. So that is something that is still on the table as well. But the Giants have said that they are not trading him, and they like to re-sign him.
The Woodward Sports chat thread, people talking life with cool. Is Hendon Hooker on the board for a trade piece? I mean, I'd say so.
Yeah.
I think we all agree that they drafted him when Jared Goff's future wasn't written in stone, but now it is, and he's your guy, so you got to roll with him, and there's no sense in sitting an asset on the bench like that. So
yeah.
I'm sure if it would push a trade over the top, like let's just say Max Crosby, right? Because we all know the Raiders need a quarterback. They're like, okay, we want 2 first-round picks, and we want Hooker. I'm sure they'd throw him into the mix. Like I don't think he's untouchable by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
How many guys on this team are untouchable, do you think now?
I would say about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
You look at the foundational pieces that they re-signed with Jared Goff.
All the offense,
Brown,
right? There's nobody on the offense you can touch.
No, the offense is set in stone. You're keeping Laporta, you're keeping J-Mo, you're keeping your running backs. Like the offense is set in stone. Terrion Arnold, I would say Terrion Arnold, Kirby Joseph, and Brian Branch are untouchable as well. It's crazy that half your team is untouchable.
What about Aleem?
You got so many guys that everybody would want.
Aleem McNeil.
Yeah, Aleem McNeil locked up. He's not going
untouchable.
Anywhere. Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of untouchables on the Lions team, and I never thought I'd say that.
Well,
I never thought I'd say we have a secure future here in Detroit, but they're all locked up. They're all solid players, and the basement and the foundation of this team is only getting stronger.
Yeah.
The weakest link is, like, we used to play other teams and you'd be like, oh my God, their worst player would probably be our best. We're now that type of franchise.
We really are. It's amazing. And the foundation is set, and no great house is untouchable when Mark White is your realtor. Make sure you call him now at 248-290-8242. He will save you up to $5,000 on your closing costs, or you can visit him at markwhitesells.com today. Again, Mark White, he'll save you up to $5,000 your closing costs. Call him at 248-290-8242, markwhitesells.com. He'll get you in your dream house.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Hey, if you're breaking up with somebody like Za'Darius Smith just broke up with the Browns, you know, he wants to keep his stuff. He wants it all packed up nice, and he wants to take it with him. Well, you need the same thing when you break up with who you're with right now. KDK Law in Birmingham, you need excellence on your side so you can keep your stuff. Click that QR code above my head right now. Whether it's divorce, family, or criminal law, they got your back. Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule today. He had to leave at halftime of the show because he is on his way to Boise. Neil will be back on Friday and here all weekend for the Lions pregame show and all that good stuff. That is Darren McCarty to my left. That is Spencer Raxter in the booth.
Hello.
And you are in the chat right now. Make sure you are smashing that like button. Make sure you are subscribing to Woodward Sports because it's Lions trade day. Za'Darius Smith his name. If I could have bought stock in it about 5 hours ago, I would have, because that's all that anybody is talking about. And you really got to ask the question, is this the move that puts the Lions over the top? That is the only question that should be worried about today. Mm-hmm. Is this the move that puts the Lions over the top? Because if you were wavering, saying they couldn't get it done without Aiden Hutchinson, now that they have Za'Darius Smith, are we over the top favorites to win the Super Bowl? D-Mac, do you think this move put the Lions over the top or back to where they were with Aiden Hutchinson?
Like over the top as in favorites, I got to believe. Watching, what I see, the eyeball tests, the last few games, the way that they've played, the way that the secondary, has bend but don't break, but has found a way to take the ball away at an elite level, which is, it doesn't matter how many yards if you get the ball, take the ball away.
Yep.
I'll give up 400 yards a game. I don't care. Right? You're going to have 4 turnovers. I mean, it's incredible.
Is that sustainable, though? That's the one thing that scares me about our defense. A lot of the success has come on turnovers, and you've seen that story play out in the NFL before. When the turnovers dry up, it's a little bit harder.
Well, let's get there and see. You can always, there's always a first time. You can always change the narrative somehow.
Spenny, what do you think? Is this the move that puts the Lions over the top?
Yes, I do. It's not going to put them back to where they were with Aiden Hutchinson, obviously, because he was the best player in football until he got injured. But this move, it gives me more confidence that they're going to win the Super Bowl. You talk about the turnovers. You talk about how that might not be sustainable. Those turnovers are going to come even more now with Za'Darius Smith, because that's just a guy that's going to put more pressure on a quarterback, force him to get the ball out faster, and then you got the two best ball hawks in the NFL in Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph on the back end, and they're going to make quarterbacks pay for it. I love it. It's a great move. He's immediately the best pass rusher on your team, and this is a guy, like we saw it against Green Bay, we saw it against Tennessee a little bit. The edge rushers on the Lions, you could beat them in one-on-one. The edge rushers, since Aiden Hutchinson left, the edge rushers the Lions had, One-on-one matchups, they're not winning one-on-one matchups. Za'Darius Smith is a guy that will come in and win one-on-one matchups. So when you're double-teaming a DJ Reader or you're double-teaming an Aleem McNeil, Za'Darius Smith will have a one-on-one matchup with a tackle, and he will win that a majority of the time. And that's all you need.
Love it, and that's what the defense needs. The best part is the secondary over these past 3 games, I think, have grown. And sometimes when you lose a big piece like that, it forces other guys to step up. And the secondary has been unbelievable. Now you get that growth. Then you add a Za'Darius Smith to it. The future's looking bright for the Detroit Lions. Keitho in the Woodward Sports chat, Stick, if we don't grab another edge, what other position would you like? And we just kind of went over this with the untouchables. I don't know where I'm adding anybody right now. Like, unless it's a massive, massive, massive upgrade, who are you adding? And because that means if you're adding somebody, you're also subtracting somebody. So who comes off the defense?
There's really nobody that maybe a depth linebacker piece, like maybe that's something you need, but Malcolm Rodriguez is going to be back next week. He just rolled an ankle. He's
unless you could go get like a Fred Warner or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
no,
okay, then maybe
that.
He's our new starting line. But it's got to be an over-the-top NFL All-Pro player at this point if you want me to push down any of the starters that we have.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're adding starters other than Smith. You're just adding role players. So where do they think they can get better? Maybe it's a lineman that they get off a practice squad.
You can always use depth, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking for now.
So
they've addressed the need.
Yeah, maybe a backup tackle, maybe a backup
there you
linebacker.
go. Yeah.
But if it's not an edge,
but any starters, like any other starting position that you're like, man, this needs to be addressed. It's crazy that we're sitting here at the trade deadline, and the only reason we're shopping for a defensive end is because ours snapped his ankle.
Yes.
Like, if it wasn't for that, the pressure to find somebody to make a move at this trade deadline wouldn't have been the panic that it was, because now that we're thinking about it, who are you pushing off the starting lineup?
There's no
holes.
edge
rusher was probably it. Even if Aiden was here, you wanted someone to complement him, I guess. So Za'Darius Smith would have probably been the guy anyways?
He probably would have been here either way, even if you had Aiden Hutchinson.
Stick, you said the word panic. The only people that panicked were the fans. Brad Holm didn't panic one bit. Look at the deal that he got. That I believe. It was the fact that they were going to address it. They said they were going to address it. The whole league knew they were going to address it. And the fact he got something that was Detroit Lions favorable tells you all you need to know.
Yes. It's just so wild.
I mean, it's just because it's so different, Stick, the way that it used to be, right? But we're not there anymore. We ain't Kansas anymore, Dorothy.
It's still hitting me that the Detroit Lions are the team that they are, and like the rest of the league looks at them the way that they do. And when we're running down the roster, we're not finding any places of improvement.
Yeah.
Because we know the improvement's going to come with just experience. Like, you got a guy like Brian Branch. He's good. He was good last year. Better this year.
Yes.
You got a guy like Aleem McNeil. Good last year. Better this year. Jack Campbell. Good last year. Better this year. Anzalone. Good a couple years ago, even better this year.
Yeah.
The coaching staff and what they have done for every asset that they've brought into this foundation, we really got to acknowledge that, I think, a lot more than we do, just because what used to be the knock, you draft a guy here in Detroit, you'd never see him develop, and then within 3 years they're off the roster because you didn't draft the right people and you didn't coach them up the right way. Now you're getting guys in here, and all they're doing, it's like playing Madden. Yeah. Every game, you get to upgrade them because they added something else to their package. It's awesome.
It's awesome. It's awesome to watch. This is what a competent organization looks like. This is what we were so jealous of, looking at the Green Bays, looking at the Pittsburghs, looking at the San Franciscos. Like, this is what we wanted to be, and now they are. It starts from the top. Literally everything changed when Sheila Ford Hamp took over, and she brought in guys that know what they're doing, that are good at what they do. When you look at putting Chris Spielman in an important position, putting other guys in situations, Sheila Ford Hamp started it all. Shout out to Queen Sheila.
Joker from the Woodward Sports chat. Who else? One more. Arden Key.
Yeah.
Is not playing like he's on a team going anywhere this year, so it financially makes sense too. Listen, what he did to Decker on those first couple drives, it was like, okay, this guy, I would trade for that guy.
It is, yeah. I love it. Let's go to break, and we'll come back. We got Dr. Pearson here. We'll talk to him about what goes on with a player at the trade deadline, physical evaluation, different things like that. And Za'Darius Smith, possible little injury history or injury update from him. But let me tell you about the watch party at Hayes
there
Social. It was a banger last time. It's not going to do that. It's going to be even better this time. Hayes Social for Sunday Night Football. Presented by New Holland Brewing Company, Sabbath Coffee Roasters, Soroki Crispy Chicken and Pizza, and 1800. Come out to Hayes Social. I'll buy you your first drink. We got the watch party there on Sunday, and then the post-game show. Of course, great food, great people, great spot. Hayes Social, it's the best spot to watch a game. Come out and join us.
Boom. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Hey, when it comes to your drinks, size matter. That's why you want them taller, baby. The new Taller coming at you from New Holland Brewery. They got the gin. They got the puree. It's a delicious mixed drink. It comes in a can, and you can get it at any one of your local party stores. Just stop on by, ask for New Holland Taller by name, and they will get it for you. Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. It is trade deadline day all around the NFL, and the Lions have made the move that everybody wanted them to make. Za'Darius Smith is here. He's a Detroit Lion. They only had to give up a 5th and a 6th. They got a 7th back along with Smith. And guess what? The Browns are eating about $5 million of his salary as well, so the Lions only have to pay him about $600,000 this year. Brad Holmes doing Brad Holmes' thing. That is Darren McCarty to my left. Spenmo Rax is in here. Hello. And then, of course, every Tuesday we bring the one, the only, Dr. Jeff Pierce into the building. How you doing, Doc?
I'm good. I love that intro. It's that energy.
Yeah, I like
Pickle
it.
Doc.
Yeah. Yeah, how we doing?
We're doing good. I mean, it's trade deadline day.
Yep.
We just acquired Za'Darius Smith.
We didn't even hear about election, but it's trade deadline day.
There's an election going on?
Priorities, Doc. Priorities.
Yeah.
I like Woodward
the
Sports
United
priorities.
States should have checked their schedule and not scheduled the election during the trade deadline. I mean, I just think that's foolish to go up against the NFL.
That is true.
That's $1 billion conglomerate. You can't go up against them. You really can't.
They're trying to get more advertising dollars out there.
So trade deadline, obviously, physicals have to happen with the players. They need to be medically cleared. Just in a basic physical, I think we've all had them playing youth sports, but when you get to this level of professional sports, how in depth are they, and what do they look at in players before they let them be medically cleared to be traded?
Well, I mean, it definitely is much more in depth. I mean, we're looking at everything. You know, it's almost like Carfax, right? I'm gonna coin that one. So basically, you know their history, you know their injuries, you know what's going on in between. Some of the trade deadlines, you know, are guys that have been on the injured reserve and they're moving, or guys that are healthy with, you know, they're nursing injuries. So there's a lot of insight. Sometimes all the insight doesn't get transferred over. But, I mean, the NFL is so sophisticated because it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. You're looking at everything in detail. It's not like bend over and cough type of examination.
I always had to just turn your head. I didn't get the bend over and cough. That's a whole new experience.
Well, don't go gross on me. It's for you check for spinal bifida and scoliosis, the curvature of your spine.
Okay.
So we'll stick with that at the medical term for bending over and checking the spine.
Well, when we're looking at Za'Darius Smith, he doesn't have a really big injury history. I mean, you could go back to 2002. He was out 3 games. Knee questionable in week 4, knee questionable in week 11, and then just personal in week 18. So really nothing crazy about his medical history. When you see something like that, you know this guy is made for the long haul.
Yeah, you want to say that. You know, if we get real detail, I've talked about muscle balance. I've talked about development. We talk about prevention work when we look at him. We look at his knee. Did he do the extra work in the rehab? You know, where his balance, you know, you can measure side-to-side strengths, right? So you're looking at for deficits. So if we really want to look at them and evaluate, you can evaluate every muscle in their body now in comparison. So it's not just the gripper with the goniometer. It's like, you know, what's your quad strength? What's your release? What's your quickness? What's your up? What's your acceleration? It's kind of like the combine. The combine looks at that. How many times? But they're not. That's not how it is. It's more like, is he healthy? Is all his extremities attached? Can this guy do what we need him to do at this point with him?
You said it's kind of like Carfax, right?
Yeah.
So when people sell cars, they try to hide things sometimes about the accident report and whatnot. How often are other doctors able to catch those things?
We do it a lot because that's why we're there.
Okay.
But like I've said multiple times, sometimes the training room is the last one to know some of their injuries because they don't want management to know. They don't want the trainers to know. And then there's teams that are like in a good place, like I think where Detroit is, where they're like, yeah, we want to be healthy. We got to do everything to stay healthy. Where other guys are like, yeah, my hand's been hurting me for a while. I don't really need to bring that up. I'm gripping a little bit different and things like that. But we can detect, you know, huge things. Not like, you know, his 4th finger isn't placed right. We look at everything anatomically. Like I've looked at some of the players. I'm like, how long does your hand look like that? He goes, well, back in college. Anybody say anything? No, they just want me to perform. So it's, yes, we are skilled to look for it. And sometimes we're asked to look for it, and sometimes we're not asked to look for it.
Now, I'm going to speculate that the concussions in the head and stuff is the hardest thing to really, you know, understand. But is there an injury, like when it comes to a knee, from where you mentioned technology has gotten for you guys? Is there an injury that when it comes in that you like to see more, or are there some that are tough? Like I guess maybe a tear as opposed to a break, as opposed to a knee or an ankle or a shoulder. Is there ones that are?
It's sometimes the nagging little BS stuff, you know, like an elbow injury. It's like the elbow's not it's disrespected, just like the ankle. It's like we don't like to see that. Like ankle injuries are always overdone. Like I make fun of, you know, do your 10 toe-ups. Well, we'll put him through a real advanced training and see how weak he is in that ankle, because that matters. Like a shoulder, those are big extremities. A lot of times guys are going to rehab it. But there's a lot of players that can't lift their shoulders above their heads. I mean, you know that. In hockey, too. Hockey, they didn't need to lift above their heads. I mean, that was just something, you know, they worked with. So is there an injury we'd like to see? No. You know, back injuries are big, low back injuries. We can look, like a lot of times the athlete doesn't know, or an educated person like what we do, I can look at a back and tell you, okay, when did you injure your back? How long haven't you been strengthening it? Because there's muscle imbalance between his upper body and his lower body. Those are kind of things that are red flags for us. You know, it's like a 20-year-old kid, a 25-year-old, he can out-strengthen it, but when you talk about longevity, we look at a lot of different parts. We look at really muscle imbalance. Plyometrics are huge. Acceleration, speeds are huge. So that's the kind of stuff we'll look at for that stuff.
Dr. Pierce joining us like he does every Tuesday right here on Woodward Sports at Big D Energy. Got a question from the chat. They want some free medical advice.
Go for it.
Please ask Dr. Pierce if PRP therapy is helpful to a meniscus tear previously operated on close to 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
Absolutely?
We can keep it simple, and I won't explain to everybody else with absolutely, or I'll go into a little bit of definition. PRP is platelet-rich plasma. You know, I talk about secret sauces. That's one of the things as a secret sauce. It's not like a steroid injection. It's basically we draw your blood, we spin down the good healing properties, re-inject it into the area. So if you had a meniscus injury, for anybody who's like within 6 months of a meniscus injury, they would benefit from a PRP because that's going to help accelerate. And it's like I can't say it helps the healing, promotes the healing, and even in an older 20 years ago, yeah, you could have done it 20 years ago, but like planting a tree, today's always a good day to start.
Well, appreciate your time. As always, Dr. Pierce with us every Tuesday right here on Woodward Sports, and it's Thursday with Ermanni and Edwards, right?
Right, and then our Thursdays are a big golf event, so it's Top Golf. So everybody's going to be there. Mac's going to be there. More importantly, we got about 15 of our disabled athletes that are going to be there. Our sled hockey team's going to be there. Our basketball team's going to be there. We have a few people going for the Paralympics. So
can people still get involved in it?
Yeah, even if you want to stop by, say hello, we're going to be on the 3rd floor. We got the whole floor at Top Golf. I think it's the 3rd floor.
Okay.
Come by, say hi. You guys will be there.
Yeah. We got a whole bay, don't we?
Yeah, 2 bays.
Yeah, we do.
We're bringing the your charity people also. So
yep. Wicked Awesome
we should
Wishes.
have a good, Wicked Awesome. So I like this will be our first event we're kind of doing together. So I love helping and giving back, and I hope the audience does too. So this is our way of doing it.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Pierce, for all your insight and everything that you provide to us weekly here on Woodward Sports. We are out of here. Big D Energy. Coming up next, we got Ermanni and Edwards. Of course, you're going to get Braylon's perspective on the big trade today. It's a fun day around here.
Like getting traded out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear Braylon's take on that.
Even think about that.
Make sure you're watching 2 to 4 right here on Woodward Sports. My name is Stick. I'm out of here. Before we leave, smash the like button, subscribe. We will see you tomorrow. Spend more racks. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Well, see you later.
Peace out.